Ho, ho, ho. I don't know why I just said that. What's up, everybody? How we doing? It's 3:30 on a weekday. You know what that means? It's time for Out to Close. Myself and Joel Elconin walking you into the closing session. Nervous day. Nervous day on Wall Street ahead of the Fed meeting on Wednesday. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about some of the stocks we discussed on the morning show, and we'll take questions from our chat. Let's get to it. All right, it is time for pre-market prep at the close.
Three consecutive highs, opened, matched yesterday's low, and then once it took out there, that's all the breakout momentum traders needed.
Joel, why are you so nervous today into the Fed meeting?
Just dump some stock, huh? Spencer, I think I'm going to give you a little more credit. You've been on a roll as of late, and you didn't get too carried away with the rally. You're saying, there's a Fed meeting coming. We just got to sit tight, and sometimes the pre-market action is just a great indicator the whole night. You rally, you rally, you rally, then you open up and you rally and you rally, and then sometimes, like today, it's a rug pull. And that's what happened today. You got silly in the pre-market trading. You expect some follow through, right? Strong day on Friday, going into quad witch. Go out to 47.23 and a quarter, and then just headed into the opening bell. I didn't know whether there were any sell imbalances or not, but boom, we just started to taper off. Really, between we peaked around 6:30 a.m. and we tapered off, and then boom, on that opening bell, the bull, you couldn't even see that closing price. They were laughing at me for putting an order out at 0350. You hit 0150. We got an interesting area on the downside, folks. I don't care what you call it. It's not exactly a triple bottom by any means, but here are their last three lows in the March contract. That would be Thursday's low is 65 and a quarter. That's a count. Excuse me. Thursday's low, 55 and a quarter. Friday's low, 57. And then we got to 62.50 today. So if you could see my sheet when I do my numbers, we're going to have like a 5-star down there. So I will say the bulls are firmly in control until we pierce that trio of lows. I know you guys are expecting a back up day tomorrow. I don't know. I think we just got a little people taking some chips off the table ahead of the Fed, but we're going to look at the bank stocks, and I don't know. They're not anticipating higher rates as of yet. Crude's in the red by 32 cents at 71.35. Quiet day for gold. Gold's up 380 at 1788.60. Silver gained a nickel since we spoke this morning, 22.35. It's up 15.5 cents. Bitcoin, new low of the move. We can forget this line. Get rid of this line. The little guy is selling after buying up here. Not sure what the indications are, but man, now 50K, that turns into super extra major resistance. And also Ethereum. We fell out of bed. We talked about 3,900 this morning, and bye-bye. We took out 3,900. We're down $296.50 at 3,743.50. Leader on the upside, leader on the downside. Ethereum down 7.3%. Bitcoin only down 3.93. Where do you want to go, Spencer?
I just want to reiterate at this point, and I feel like I'm a broken record here, but in the short term, crypto ain't no hedge, right? I mean, the crypto market is not a hedge on any given day. Maybe it is a hedge over the long term, but on any given day, no.
Yeah, risk on, risk off. No, I mean, I think that that's a good point. It's had a big run. It's had a big year. Two big, monthly candles. I think it's a risk on asset because there's no way to value it, right? Except for supply demand and what people are paying. There's nothing. There's nothing, nothing, nothing. So
Mhm.
we'll see what the next move is here for the Bitcoin. But boy, if you were leaning on that 50K the last 3 days, you got a pretty good sell off. S&P showing a little bit of life here. We're at 78 and a half. Really been chopping around over the last half hour, 45 minutes.
You know what does seem to be a hedge? Maybe not a hedge is the wrong word, but moves in reverse to the market is the healthcare sector, Joel. It
Oh
just
boy.
seems like every day where the overall market is down, the healthcare sector is up, and that's the case today as well. Healthcare is actually no, actually, it's not your leader for the day, but I thought it was, but it's close. But healthcare is one of your it's one of your four sectors in the green today. You got Pfizer, which is having a very good day, up 4%. Bristol Myers up, Moderna is up, BioNTech. They're all up. Um, I'm not quite sure what to make of that. I know it's not just healthcare that's up today, but it does seem like every time we have a day where the overall market is lower, healthcare is higher on those days. Maybe that's not the case, but that's just the way it seems to me.
Value, value, value,
I
right?
don't know. Is it even that? Is it even a value thing? I don't
There,
because
there's nothing.
Moderna is not like a value stock.
No,
Moderna's up today, so
it's COVIDness. It's like all of a sudden, COVID. The Boris Johnson locks down the entire country and doesn't, can't go to work. So I think COVID. We weren't worried about COVID last week. We took off. They're worried about COVID this week, and we went down. So that's I just say COVID woes. We have no specific news on Johnny and Johnny there, Johnson and Johnson, a stock I've been talking about for a few days. Haven't been buying. No specific news on J&J. Huh?
we do have headlines, but let's say yeah,
Wow.
one of their subsidiaries did receive good news from Europe this morning, I believe. There's some good data
Hmm.
from European regulators, or good news from European regulators, and yeah, no, I don't. No, I don't. I don't know specifically on Johnson and Johnson. I understand your point that it's also a COVID thing because if you look at like some of these stay-at-home stocks, Chewy's having a good day. Who else
Yeah,
is
that's been beat up though,
who
huh?
else? Peloton's having a good day. So yeah,
Woohoo!
so there is some rhyme or reason to it. I just didn't see any headline to Mitch Olson's point.
Pacific,
I
yeah.
just didn't see any headline that would necessitate this kind of a move, but I guess there doesn't have to be one. So
No, I think a little nervousness, on that, and then you got the Fed meeting coming up. So I just think it's a combination of the two. I think also you probably got people leaning the wrong way. I mean, you see those futures overnight. You hit 23 and a quarter. So I mean, one of my first instincts was, hey, wow, just another update. We got air up to 47.35. A little pullback off the pre-market high. We'll get long. We'll go test the pre-market high. We'll take it out. We'll go to a new all-time high. So, people get conditioned into that. So, a lot of people probably bought that pullback based on where the futures were trading, and then
yeah, maybe
boom, you had if you bought the open. Oh, and what about what? Maybe I could just attribute this whole move to CNBC. I mean,
what they do now, Joel?
oh, $3 trillion market cap in Apple.
Yeah, it
Like
happened.
what does that mean? What
Uh,
what does that exactly mean? Nothing.
I don't know. We like round numbers, Joel.
Yeah, well, the round number that I gave you guys in the pre-market trading was 182. I know 182.89 is an old time, or no, that's the 3 trill number. And I think the big boys were just laughing like this is not going to 182.89 today. And just all the saps that were in there buying it. How did the 182 look? Well, see, 182 looked good in the pre-market. You see that? You had the lower open. Apple trades pretty technical. Look at that. Right up to what the pre-market high was 182.22. And what's your high of the regular session? Your high of the regular session is 182.13. Now you're going to tell me the pre-market highs and lows don't matter? Hmm.
I mean, it probably matters more than the trillion to $3 trillion market cap thing. I think it was more of just an
Hell
observation.
yeah.
Remember how long it took him? It feel like it took forever for it to get to 1 trillion, and it took 2 years almost on the button to get to 2 trillion. And now we got to 3 trillion in like a little over a year or something like that. So anyway, yeah, a few people in the chat talking about the first case of the first death related to Omicron over in Europe. If you want to think that's why the market's down today, I'm not going to tell you not to think that, but I'm not buying it personally. I think it's just, frankly, nervousness ahead of Wednesday, sort of
I,
where I'm
I
at.
don't.
Yeah,
I don't want to reveal all the conversations I had with Lisa this weekend
yeah,
about
please
Omicron and
don't.
stuff.
Please don't.
Omicron. What's it called?
Omicron.
Omicron.
Yeah.
Uh, but she just put it this way.
Okay.
Um,
I'll put it.
how do I want to put it? I don't want to put it too bullish or too bearish.
Okay.
But I guess the best way to put it is that if like you know if we could get through this wave, this is a big wave, right? It's because it's very contagious.
Okay.
So if we could get through this highly contagious wave, and it's not as what's the word virulent? I pronounce
Virulent.
that right?
Violent.
Virulent. Yeah, it doesn't kill as many people.
Uh huh.
Then that's a really good indication moving forward. So now it's too easy. I sounded too bullish there. I didn't want to sound bullish. But that's and then she's not the only one saying that. I mean, people file this. I don't know what Scott Gottlieb is saying, but he ended it about a month ago. So a lot of different factors at stake. Market cares about it today. We'll see what it cares about tomorrow. We'll see what it
Yeah.
cares about on Wednesday.
Hey, you want to look at Hog here? What a rug pull today in Harley
Ah,
Davidson. It's not every day you wake up and you see Harley Davidson up what like not $7 this morning, $8,
jeez, I
and yeah,
know, I
gave almost
know.
all of it back. Almost, not all, but almost.
Okay, and who is paying attention to the levels today? Because I talked about the importance of 42. And that was just because of the pre-market action, and then you had a monthly high. I said into the event that it does get to 42, then you gotta love the 50%. Afrin, are you around? I drew this for Afrin this morning
Hmm.
to illustrate the 50%. So if Afrin didn't short Hog at 43.66 and change. I don't know I'm just joking with you, Afrin. But that's what you got to look at. These big moves halfway back, and it did get. I would have looked bad when it went to 43.98 on that opening 15-minute bracket. You got to hold in there. But once it came back down to, this is a little choppy here. But once it decided it didn't want to hold 42, you got to look. I just, these news of like the SPACs, I mean, it just seems, electronic bikes. I mean, what is the trend in Harley Davidson going back to 2014?
The trend is vroom.
Down.
Trend is vroom vroom, Joel.
I'm
Vroom
sorry?
vroom vroom vroom. That's the trend.
Yeah, that was pretty.
That's all that matters.
That,
Just vroom
that
vroom.
was funny. Did you write that out today? That was a good segment. That was funny. That was funny talking about silent motorcycles. But anyways, Harley, I think you're going to get a chance maybe to buy the dip here. I would hold out for 37.48. That would fill the gap in it because how does this structurally change? Like, okay, they got a SPAC to build them. Okay, does that automatically mean people are going to buy them? How
Mm,
long? Hey, Mark, man. Yeah, you can get the presentation. I think it's up on the site now. Go to premarketprep.com and use PMP10 for 10% off. So we'll see. We'll see what Harley comes back down. I think you get a chance under 38, maybe fill that gap. High 37.48 actually fills the gap.
okay. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. Hey, if you have a question on the stock, drop the ticker in the chat. We'll take a
Stock.
look. I saw a few questions. Someone asked about let me scroll up here. Was it Intel? Let me make sure I got it
What's
right.
going on with it?
No,
Smelly
no,
Intelly.
I want to make sure I got it right though. It was maybe it wasn't Intel.
Time to strike if you like Intel. I mean, it's it gave all that back. It filled the gap. Not really major resistance at 50, not bouncing too much off it, but at least you got a pair of lows. I mean, the same thing here, even though I had, Intel, I'm double bottom 50.05, so 2 day, 3 day low 50.43. What, just because, they're going to spin off Mobileye, you don't know when they're going to do it. You don't know what they're going to get for it. Boom, you know? Who knows? Same thing. Too much, too fast. Boom. Filled the gap, came back down. But Intel's looking interesting here at 50. See, it can hold up the next few days. Afrin, I'm looking at the last 5 days. What you say? A flag? Yeah, I mean, I it's just a consolidation for me after a big move. Big move. You basically have had 3 days of going nowhere. So the market's telling you here that you got an area of support that you want to hold. If that holds, boom, we're blasting, to a new all-time high, which is 47.35. But I tend to find these kind of formations instead of calling it a flag or, whatever you want to call it. To me, it's just a little bit more reliable to say, hey, there's 3 lows in this area. You got to respect it. If it holds, it also is kind of the area that we broke out from on the March contract. Very interesting. So old resistance, good resistance came down, blew through it, new support. We'll see what happens later in the week, but a little action on Monday, that's for sure.
All right, here's one I've lost sight of in the last month. That is Viacom. I did not realize we got down to $30 in Viacom because last time I remembered it was at 40 forever, or it was around 40. It was like it was in
Jeez.
the ballpark of 40 forever, and now we're at 30. So
And it looks like you got a head and shoulders top in there. Look at that. Kind of a crooked left shoulder, right shoulder kind of forming, overhead supply. I mean, this is better stocks to buy out there if here you're leaning on 29 as do they report kind of what oh they probably already
they're
reported.
probably done.
I don't know.
Everyone.
DISCA. I mean, stocks that have these crazy runs and then give them back. Look at that discovering lower prices. It's just so hard once these things fall out of favor.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
yeah,
you could look at Fox, right, which is getting taken out of the Nasdaq 100, right? It's the same. It's the same idea.
let's see what's
It's the
going
same
on with.
idea.
Where is Fox? Yeah, that's gone. I mean, that's hung in there. That's a little bit better, but no, I mean these media stocks are tough. Where's AT&T at? Like $20?
I don't know.
Down 33. Don't know what to say. This could go down as one of my worst investments in 2022, but that's okay. You got to
No,
have a few
seriously,
losers.
like we're gonna look back on this period, and like there are going to be some of these stocks that you're gonna say, "I cannot believe it got down there." Like in the chat, we've got Toronto Dave says Uber is way oversold. Yeah, he may be right. I don't know. He could be right. Uber at $35 though. I mean, it was it was almost double that at its peak in February. Almost, not quite. I mean, some of these stocks are just falling so hard. Hey,
Which one is he talking about?
Uber? Uber is what he mentioned,
Over.
but that's at a
Has
12. That's a
anybody done
2 week.
a comparison of like Uber rates to taxi rates?
I mean, it's cheaper 90% of the time. It's not cheaper on like New Year's Eve, but it's cheaper most of
Oh,
the.
we just got some sellers coming in here. We were just knocking on the door of 46.80. Now we're on. You got some news for me, Spencer?
Oh, I'm
News me.
too busy talking to you. Um,
Nothing.
Let me check here. Checking the pro, and I don't see
So
anything.
Happy Mohammed says Uber used to be cheaper, but it's now around the same. You know what the thing just about versus a taxi versus an Uber?
Yeah.
You've heard my whistle, right?
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah. That's something I love that. Like getting attacked, you're New York City, you see a guy going the other way. I won't do my loud whistle because that will blow everyone's ears out.
Please.
You
Thank you.
whistle.
Please.
I
Thank
know.
you.
I will one day. You
Okay.
know what I'll do?
No.
I will one day when it's slow, I will go, I'll leave my mic on my desk and I will go, first I'll go on the first level and I'll whistle. And then I'll go on the second level
Okay.
and I'll
And
whistle.
then you'll go on the roof.
Then I'll go on the roof, and then Lisa will get really mad at me, and I'll whistle. I seriously have one of the loudest whistles.
He does. Okay. Two related questions here. Provin's asking about QCOM, and Easy Mike wants to short SMH, which is the semi
Wait, what's the first stock?
Qualcomm.
Qualcomm.
And then on the same in the same vein, Easy Mike wants to short SMH, which is the semiconductor ETF. So we'll look at SMH after we look at Qualcomm.
Uh, Bad candle today. You know, you get. It's just a bad candle. I mean, it's not a horrible candle, but it's a bad candle. You made a new all-time high, and then you reversed. You haven't taken out the low from Friday yet. So if you took out the low from Friday, you could sound the alarms. But what you have here, what you really need to keep an eye on is this 181. Three lows in the 181 area. As long as it holds 181, you got to be respectful that the trend is still up. Also, you got to keep in fact that even though you hit 91.30 and you pull back, you still have a chance to post an all-time closing high. So 83.88, that was your high on Friday. 84.04 today. So maybe you get a double close in the same area. So I'd keep an eye on that. If you get that double close, you showed at 184. You got to risk up to not 191.30. So there are your levels. 184 double. Oh boy, we're really dropping here. Was there selling balances? Someone help me out here.
No, well, it was a buying balance.
Yeah, well they
But that was 20 minutes ago. So
Whoa, Nelly! Look at this, 60. Come on, don't take it out so late in the session. 353. We're heading towards the low of the session, folks. Don't get too faked out because you still have Friday's interday low, yada yada yada, 6150. Friday's Globex low, 57. Thursday's Globex low or the real low, 55 and a quarter. So there's your real. Province says a selling balance, 2.7 billion to the south side. So people
yeah,
lighten up. What was your SMH?
yeah, SMH.
This peaked ahead of it. Yeah, I think you got room down to 290 on this one. If you're, under 290, it gets real interesting because there's really not much under there. But yeah, under 290, it really opens up. How's AMD doing? AMD, same thing. I mean, these stocks have had some big runs, and now there's wow, $30 off the high. Nvidia. Boom. Ooh, big level in NVIDIA. Boy, oh boy. Keep an eye on 280 here. 280.38. I mean, you saw what happened to these high valued growth stocks, when they had the big run and then, they start to fall. People just don't step up to the plate here. So this one, you've been holding on for a while. Keep eye 280 on
All right.
NVIDIA.
All right.
65, we're headed for the lows of the session.
Yeah, all right. If you want to pull up Apple, there was a headline from I guess 20 minutes ago from the FT that is behind a paywall that says Apple is facing a probe over whether it retaliated against a whistleblower. That headline hit the tape at like 3:30, which is not that long after. Wait, actually, let me see here. When
It
did
rallied after that.
no, hold on a second.
Right, 3:30. No, it didn't rally after
Stupid.
that.
No, I don't know. I don't know when it hit. I just know that we've been going down in Apple for like the last hour. Yeah, pretty much the last hour.
Yeah, I mean, it just what an unprecedented run that you had in Apple 160 to 180. Just got a little overdone to the upside, and some profit taking. And then, talking about that market cap, just, people headed for the hills in it. So bad candle for Apple too. Not a super bad candle yet because you haven't taken out the previous day's low at 74.69. So if you want to call that a key reversal,
Yeah.
then there you go.
All right, and then on AMC, I mean, I tried to call a victory on AMC back in like June, July. I was like, "Oh, it's over, and I was wrong then. So I'm not gonna do that again today. That being said, AMC, and we've been saying this pretty much every time for the last month, is the chart looks hideous. It looks so bad. If and I'll say the same thing I said last week and the week before that. If you're in AMC from the springtime or whatever, and if you're up in AMC, do yourself a favor and take some profits now before it's too late.
Profit? Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know how many people are. What are they saying about this thing on Reddit?
Well, there's a lot of competing narratives. One of them is
Yeah.
that look, the CFO sold all of his shares, and the
Oh
CEO
yeah.
sold 75% of his shares. Not a great look. On so yeah, that's one narrative, and it's watching how that news made its way through the community was interesting. There seems to be some disagreement as to what that means. I mean, the people that are bearish AMC are interpreting it as, "Come on, guys, you just had two top executives sell almost all their stake. What does that tell you?"
What
Um,
about and we didn't mention this, and I don't remember Lewis. Lewis used to follow the movies. What was Lewis's last name?
what?
Back in the old office, Lewis.
No, that was before my time.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I did not know Lewis here. That was before me.
Lewis used to write about the movies and stuff. And didn't nobody go see West Side Story? I mean,
I
is that basically it?
did hear like $10 million at the box office or something like
10 million?
that's what I think I saw.
10 million at the box
Wait,
office for
wait, wait,
West.
wait, wait. Let me make sure that's not wrong. Hold on.
I mean, that's why your AMC's down. I mean, besides people just getting crushed trying to buy the dip in it.
40. Oh no, it was 10 million. I was right. It was a
That
10.
thing did 10 million for opening.
Yeah,
Oh, that is putrid.
and a half
That
million.
is unbelievable.
Yep.
See, I'm such a contrarian, or Lisa's the contrarian, because on Christmas Day, when there's nothing to do, we're going to go to the movies. I
Heck
get it.
yeah.
And
Hey,
what
here's
you do is you go out for Chinese food on Christmas Eve, and then you go to the movies on Sunday. I mean,
I'm going to movies on Friday probably.
and that's what Jewish people do on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. If you guys want to know.
And
Wow,
if you didn't know,
West
now
Side
you know.
Story tanked it.
Yeah.
Okay, we hit
All right.
59.50, trying to rally into the close here, folks. Once again, Spencer punishes the market during the last half hour.
I
It's
didn't
all
know.
Spencer's fault.
I did no such thing. Um, just looking ahead on the calendar for the earnings front, there's nothing really tonight or tomorrow morning. We do have a couple of names of note later in the week, but I'm just sort of pushing everything off to the
For the
side
Fed.
for the Fed. It's sort of where my head is at. So, as I said to Joel about a half hour ago, it wouldn't shock me for a second to see us back up at 47.
I don't think so. No,
All right.
not going back. Not going back that tomorrow. Not going back up. Right, going back up to 4,700 because you got people caught now. You didn't sell on Friday. Hey, you weren't going to sell on Monday. We just made all-time highs, and now we're just into the close here. Holy mackerel! Maybe we'll get if they get a little pop overnight. I'd love to see that. There we are, finishing near the lows of the session.
All
Ding,
right.
ding, ding. Not
There's
a
our
good day for the
bell.
market.
Well, final tally for the days. We did have four sectors in the green. The problem is the sectors that are in the green are the ones nobody cares about. Utilities, real estate. I guess people care about healthcare and they care about staples, but tech in the red, energy in the red, banks in the red, industrials in the red. Uh, yeah, so way more red than green. It is what it is. that's a wrap. That's a closing bell. So, if you could be so kind and hit that like button, it's the button that looks like my thumb there, or the little thumb up. I would appreciate that. Money Mitch is going live right now. We're going to end this show. Joel, I will catch you tomorrow. Everyone, please remember all of the information from our show is meant to be used as informational purposes and not for investing or trading advice. Have a good day. I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning. And if you're trading after hours, be safe.